I will be ranting about the newest Superman movie by James Gunn, so there will be spoilers. I wouldn't say there were plot holes, at least not after just one watch. I could be missing something or not remembering something, who knows. But I would say there are a couple of tears, and maybe it's just my opinion, but it seems that Lex would not have had one of these ditzy girlfriends hanging around. He would not have let anybody into the inner circle except those who could 100% be trusted, and he certainly wouldn't allow someone with a phone who can, let that information go out unless they're 100% trusted like the rest of his staff. So I don't think that made any sense, and I wish that wasn't in it, but it kind of wouldn't have progressed if that wasn't in it, because then where would Jimmy Olsen have got his information from to expose Lex to the world? I get it. And the other thing that I think Lex would never have done that seems like a little bit of a plot tear is I don't think he would have restricted the ability to communicate what actions he wanted his Superman clone to take with audio cues that he had to speak out, or indeed that anyone had to speak out. I think he would have programmed it into some kind of a computer keyboard, for example, so that it was a one tap for each move that he wanted the Superman clone to take. Even if what was transmitted to that Superman clone was audio, if that's what was necessary, because he is a person who needs to listen, I don't think he would have had to say it out loud. I think it would have been keystrokes. So I don't know. Maybe I'm misunderstanding with that one, and maybe it was keystrokes, but it did seem like that he would say it and then it would be heard by the Superman clone, rather than that they pressed a key that then transmitted that information. And not only that, in the very beginning, it seems like different computers control each different movement. I mean, it might not have been that, and it may have just been portrayed in a way that confused me a little, but it seemed like Lex had to audibly say what action that had to be taken. And then the person who was in control or responsible for that action had to say it out loud to the clone for him to do it. Maybe I misread that. I don't know. But that seemed silly to me. I think it may have been more like he's saying out what needs to be done and people are repeating it back to him as an acknowledgement of the fact that they do indeed know what action needs to be taken by the clone, and then they are pressing the buttons in order for it to work. Because I was mainly thinking about the last scene where Superman is fighting his clone and we actually hear Lex talking to Superman and we hear some of the codes being said. But I think it might more likely be that he's just saying the codes out loud in order for people to pick up which code they need to do, and then they input it with keystrokes. So I still don't like that. I think it still slows it down and makes it, why use a middleman when you can potentially just click some keys yourself if you know what moves you want him to take. But that being said, I guess it can kind of be explained away by Lex's ego, like he thinks that potentially tapping the keys himself is beneath him and that other people should do it. But I still don't really like it. Also, why is he called Ultraman? For me, Ultraman is the Earth 3 version of Superman. It's not a Superman clone. Couldn't it have been called Cadmus or is it Project KR? Project something? I don't like that they used Ultraman for the name of the Superman clone, which is why I keep calling him the Superman clone instead. And then why isn't there some sort of a setting going on whereby they can see from the perspective of the Superman clone? I understand that you're better off seeing an entire environment where you can see which position both of the characters are in order to fight. But if something happened to those cameras, which incidentally does happen, would you not also have a camera on the character, on the Superman clone? Would you not also want to see from his perspective just in case something happened? And then he can defend against something happening to that camera because he is the person you're controlling. I don't know. Maybe I'm mistaken on this. Maybe it would have been a bad idea to also have that as a backup. But I feel like there's a couple of things Lex would definitely have done. And some things have not been done that potentially should have been. It does seem like there are some things that don't really align with Lex's intellect in this movie.